Well, I first met Jim 10 years ago when I moved in next door. And I remember him telling me that he was an alcoholic for over 40 years, but 2 months ago he had gone sober. And I was excited for him, and I congratulated him on his sobriety. Well, not too long afterwards, I was taking out my garbage and in the morning, and I saw all of these undercover police officers out in vehicles in front of my house. And next thing I know, they have my neighbor Jim with shotguns, pointed at his head on the ground on his front lawn. And come to find out, they were serving a warrant for one of his prior roommates. And they came to me and they asked me about him. And I said, he's a nice neighbor, and he's been sober for over 2 months. But over the years, we had a casual and friendly relationship. And I had shared the gospel with him different times, and he was never really openly rejecting the gospel, but he was always friendly, but never really had time to pray with me or to come to church. But over the years, my family and I, and even our church family, we reached out to him, helped him with home projects. I would mow and edge his lawns as often as I could, and just tried to reach out to him in love, and he responded. He was a good man. And about a little over a year ago, he developed liver cancer. And I remember the first thing that he said to me when he told me, he said, Dave, it's my own fault. I was the one drinking for 40 years plus, and I have no one to blame but myself. And so we prayed, and we sought the Lord, and he had surgery, and it looks like he would look like he was going to turn around. Definitely looked like he was going to turn around. Well, not too long after, he developed liver cancer again in what was left, and they gave him 2 months to live. And I remember saying to myself when he told me that, I need to spend some time with him. And so we did. My family invited him over. He had dinner and a swim, and we just had a great time. He and his girlfriend for over 20 years just hung out. And I think what blessed us the most is they didn't want to leave. Normally when you invite people over, they kind of accommodate you. And I think they generally had a great time. And then also he was a movie, buff. He just loved to see movies. And so I thought to myself, I'm going to take a day off from work and take him to a movie. So we went and saw The Avengers together and went to Starbucks. But I remember the pressure that I felt before I picked him up. And I was talking to my wife, because I felt, he's dying and I need to see where he's at with the Lord. And my wife said, don't worry, because he'll probably bring it up. He knows who you are. He knows what you're all about. He knows you're a pastor. And sure enough, before my car left the driveway with him in the driver's seat, he brought it up. And, he just started talking about it. And we just had such a great time that day. And he told me he was ready to meet Jesus. And 2 weeks later, he did. I think the only regret that I have is that over the last 10 years, I didn't spend more time with him.